Adjusting my mic.
Hello.
What's happening? What's happening? What's happening?
Uh-huh.
We're gonna hold on. We're gonna move that right quick. Get it going. We'll get back. How y'all doing?
How are y'all doing? Hey there.
I know it's been a while. But welcome to the show. We are back at it again. Conversating, Conversing and Relating. I am your host, one half of the host, Coach Hughes. I got to get that right.
I'm April Autumn Sparks, and we're so glad that you're here today.
We are glad, considering what's been going on. Life has been lifing for a lot of people here in Houston, Texas.
Been through the storm and rain.
Been through the storm and rain.
Jesus.
Listen, sleeping without lights and heat, you got to pick a struggle, and they gave us both at the same time. I'm emotionally scarred, but I've been through worse. It was rough. It was rough. Look, they said, glad you're okay. I'm glad we're okay too. Thanks. Thank you. Thank you guys for being patient. I know we missed a couple of shows.
We did.
But we're going to try to make this show very interesting for you guys. Because this show, it means a lot.
Yeah.
Because we didn't know if we was going to have lights.
We did not. It was a struggle, right? So I did Finding Queendom, and I think where was I? Oh, I was in the kitchen.
You was in the kitchen,
right? And we had a generator going, and then we had the what is it, Ryobi?
Yeah, the Ryobi battery packs.
And so, listen, I was dedicated to the women. And it was a great conversation. The conversation was about pressing through the storm. And we've been really talking about developing ourselves and what stops us from getting to what it is that we want, need, and desire in life.
Yeah.
So if you would like to be a part of that, please go to our website, theobsidianluxgroup.com, send us an email, and I will definitely add you to the group. It is a closed group. It's okay. You can join. Just hit that button, go, and it's cool. So come on in. We would love to have you.
It's a private closed group.
It is.
Angela says, I'm sorry I haven't been watching the Queen of Podcasts. I need to watch more shows. Listen, you're doing pretty good by tuning in today.
Yeah.
We want you on the live podcast as well as the regular podcast. So thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for getting our subscribers up. Right now, I think we're up to 135, maybe?
36.
136 subscribers. So continue to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification button, and that way you won't miss a live show or anything else that we post on this channel. Right. So I normally would go into how the week was.
We can. I can. Oh.
137.
Jaco and Sierra, they be keeping us together. Okay?
Yeah. Jaco is definitely that guy. Sierra, definitely that woman. Those two are special to us. So shout out to those two. 137. That's what we're
okay. We got it right. Okay.
We've been without lights. We can't.
We don't know.
We don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
It's been rough. So the week was rough. Hurricane Beryl came and hit. We had damage to the house, but not really to the house.
Water damage.
Well, yeah, we had water damage.
Yeah.
Not that much. But
trees down.
Yeah. A lot of trees down. Then a house caught on fire on the backside of us. Probably like 5 houses down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Caught on fire.
I don't even think it was 5. Yeah. It was like over and then maybe 2.
Maybe 2 or 3 houses down. A lot of smoke. Felt sorry for those guys. Wanted to go over there and help, but it was like a lot of fire department. I think everybody else had a chance to get that taken care of. So,
and a lot of people are still without power. Like on our street, we have power, but then over on the other side, they're without power, and so they're like, stand down, in the cool air.
They listen. They are very, very much in rage that they look across the street and their neighborhood doesn't have power like this neighborhood. So it is what it is.
It is.
But we've been blessed to have that. We got a question. How do you get in the group again? So you got to tell them how to get in the private women's group again.
So if you would like to be a part of Finding Queendom, go to the obsidianluxgroup.com or www.aprilautumnsparks.com and send me an email, and I will add you to the email group because it meets privately on Tuesday nights, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. 7 p.m. Central Standard Time.
She's looking at me like I can get in the group.
You cannot.
I cannot get in the group.
Eastern Standard Time.
I cannot even get in the group.
So yeah, when you email me, I'll send you all the deets. But yeah, it's been a long time, so thank you for your patience with me on that one. But we would love to have you.
Jacob says I should have worn my Dr. Thunder shirt. You know what?
Yes.
Dr. Pepper is a good drink, sir.
Dr. Pepper. Mm-hmm.
Dr. Pepper.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Even though I don't drink sodas anymore.
At all.
Yeah. It's very, very sad.
Yeah.
Danica, what's happening?
How you doing?
Shout out Miss Dove over there.
Hey, girl.
Feeling good.
She's also in the group.
She is in the group, from what I hear, because
You're not in
the group. I'm trying to talk like I am. I said, that's true rage when the apartment community in arms throw from me and had power and our battery locks.
The whole building is locked? Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah, because you got to get in with the lock, the new digital joints.
Oh, I don't know if they thought about that before they actually did that.
You know what? Don't know. That's rough. That is rough.
I'm sorry, CC.
Sorry, CC.
That's not
I feel you though, because I'm looking across the street and literally it's just the whole neighborhood is blacked out.
Yeah.
And then I look on our street and it's just lights and glory, and they were at the pool today, you know.
just crazy. Like what is going on?
Right. Everything's fine. Everything is fine.
So yeah.
Okay.
All right. So I don't know if you all got the message about what we're talking about today, but babe, what are we talking about today?
So we titled it a certain way, but we want to appeal to everybody because, you know, we have good people in here who are not of African-American descent, like Jaco. Okay. And we titled it a certain way, but we still want to apply this to everybody.
Yeah,
right?
Most definitely.
So it says the title is Come Home, Black Man, Black Woman, Come Home.
All right.
But basically, we need to say come home, man and woman, come back to the foundation of relationships.
Right.
And so when we're talking about relationships in this today's dynamic, we have a battle going on, especially within the Black community, but definitely across all ethnic groups, mainly Black and white. Men and women are battling each other in the battle of the sexes about various of things.
I agree.
Yeah. And so what we're trying to do with our practice is we're trying to bridge the gap to where we can get back to cutting through the divisiveness, cutting through the rhetoric, and getting back to pure, plain old relationships.
You're right. We want to help folks create sustainable relationships that if they are seeking marriage, they can get into a marriage and sustain that marriage. It's not, I think a lot of people focus on the wedding day, and it is so much more than a wedding day, right? You know, people who get married to get divorced a month later, and that's just not cool.
That is,
right?
Yeah, that's not cool at all.
Yeah. So we really are passionate about helping folks create the desired relationship that they want to together, right? And sustaining that, right? For the health of both parties.
And we got to look at the complaints that men and women have, right? Some of those complaints are legitimate complaints on both sides. You know, double standard, gender equality, gender roles, traditional versus modern. Some of them are very much good complaints. However,
here you go.
Some of these complaints are just astronomically false and ridiculous. And those seem to be the complaints that trigger a lot of people.
Well, you know, my question, people who know me, where did they learn that?
Yeah.
Where did that come up?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Why is that coming up for them? And a lot of the things that people are complaining about, or the requirements that they're asking for people, are kind of out of the norm.
It is out of the norm.
They're out of the norm.
Yeah.
So yeah, we got to deal with that.
So
I love Jaco. I'm sorry.
Jaco's been invited to the barbecue, y'all. Yeah, if y'all don't know Jaco, y'all
throw that spade down right there.
Boy played dominoes, eat barbecue ribs, and plays a mean bass guitar. So he's been invited to the barbecue.
Listen, Jaco, you welcome.
All day, every day. Okay. But despite what he was saying, because he is invited to the barbecue. So yeah. He's a part of the barbecue, actually. We still have this disconnect between men and women, and all different races, especially black and white. And so what we want to do is try to bridge the gap to get people here. All right. So where do you want to start?
I think we just start at the beginning. Let's just go ahead and
start at the beginning.
Yes, let's go. Let's share if you know anything about us, that we have some resources. That's who we are.
All right.
And that's what we do.
All right. So yeah, I'm gonna hit this part right here.
All right. So, like we said, dear black man, dear black woman, or dear man, dear woman, come home. Yeah. So again, we've been building for a couple of weeks now on this thought of the divisiveness, right? And the last time we met before the uses, which was really a ball.
Yeah, that show was good.
We talked about this whole thing when black women were saying, "Where are all the black men?
Where all the black men at?" Yeah.
What's going on? Yeah. Well, and we ended that by saying, we want you to come home. Right. We want to mend fences.
Right.
We want us to collectively come together. Right. And so what we don't want to happen is people just come in and they're like, okay, I'm home. And that's it. There's no conversation. There's nothing. It's just like, I'm here. And what? We're going to keep going.
We also don't want people to come thinking that, or wanting to come home, but thinking that it's going to be the same.
Right.
We want them to have an incentive to come home.
Right.
And to realize that if they do come home, proverbially or metaphorically, that they'll be coming to something different. Right. And that starts with self, and that starts with recognizing that maybe you should come home and try again with this person, or try again in life in general, or whatever the case may be.
And I'm glad you said that, because it does start with self, right? There has to be some self-awareness. There has to be some understanding, right? And so we're hoping that this particular conversation this evening will help with that understanding and what to do next, right?
Right.
So, yeah.
Right. So you put all this stuff together.
I did it. Nice. That's what I do. So that's nice. My job. So as we're always going to give you a resource and what foundation we're building on. So the hierarchy of needs. If we're talking about the hierarchy, there are a couple of basic needs that we need to discuss. The first one is your physiological needs. Now, these, again, are the needs that we typically take for granted. They're air, water, food, shelter, sleep, clothing, reproduction, and sex. Whenever I put that there, people have a problem. We'll talk about that another day. We're going to have to do a whole podcast on that one thing right there, right? Sex. That's really important. So that's the foundation. And thinking about this past week, so a lot of our physiological needs were not met.
Not met. Well, I don't know. Some of y'all had sex in the dark.
That might have been some of the best. Anyway, never mind. Yeah. So the next one, which is really important, this one is the one that throws people off, which is the safety needs. Safety is not just your physical body being safe, but it is also your mind, your heart, your emotions, and your spiritual self, your social self, and your sexual self being safe, right? It's something that I call safety pies, which is, again, another conversation for another day.
Right.
Then those two things are the basic foundation. And so when there are insecurities within those two levels, of course, there are going to be insecurities moving up this hierarchy. Right. So love and belonging, this is really where we're going to be today, right? Basing it in safety needs, but also building on that to love and belonging. This is how you build friendships. You typically learn how to build friendships from your family of origin, right? Typically your cousins, your brothers, those are the people who are your first friends, right? And they teach you how to engage in relationships. You watch your parents have a relationship with each other. So that helps you to understand what an intimate relationship would look like and your sense of connection with someone, right?
Right.
So those are the things that we're building on today, right? Should we see if we have any questions? We probably don't, because, they know that this is something that we've been building on. Yeah.
Okay.
We do. I was wrong.
I think the biggest cause in the gender war in the Black community is the white female feminists. White female feminists have their agenda. An example of this was the WKKK. Okay. That's interesting perspective.
It is.
That's very interesting perspective.
Very. So
we're going to tap into a lot of that along the way. I think that is a whole different conversation that is relatable, but I don't want to go down that rabbit hole just yet.
Because we could,
but we're not. We're not going to go down that rabbit hole just yet. But I definitely see what your point is and what you're saying. You do have a valid point, but we need to dissect that a little bit further.
So the next thing that we want to talk about is attachment style, which is related to the hierarchy of needs. Mm-hmm. So whenever you're having a relationship, right, the goal is to have a secure attachment,
right? A
secure relationship. So it's a relationship where you can convey your feelings, be honest, manage your emotions, and you don't have a fear of abandonment. Right. That's, to some people, that sounds like Pollyanna, rainbows and butterflies, unicorns, all of that. Right.
It does.
Well, for some people,
it does.
That is the goal. But there are other attachment styles that we've learned because of our family of origin and experiences and things that we've been through. So the next one is the anxious attachment. And in this attachment style, you feel alone. It often leads to you thinking that nobody cares about you. You're not worthy, right? But you want people to, hey, look at me. I'm important. Look at me. Come on now.
No.
I'm cute.
No.
So that makes them anxious. Okay. Yeah. The next one is avoidant, right? This one's like, I got this. I don't need nobody, right? Their emotional connections with people, they're like, I don't need people. They're unnecessary. I'm fine all by myself. But I do want somebody.
Yeah,
but I don't.
I'm about to say
but I do.
You do, but
I don't.
It's like a cat almost. You want it, but you don't want it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And then disorganized. Like, they don't trust people. They don't. They're better off not. And it's based off past experiences. They're like, I should just stay away from people. I don't want to fall into that pit again.
Yeah.
I'm not going there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm getting old, y'all. All I need to feel safe physiologically. I'm sorry, I'm starting with that word. Happy is a slab of ribs on the smoker and a beer in my hand. You know, that's not old. I think that symbolizes peace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
Yeah, I don't think that's a symbolism of getting old. I think that says this is my version of peace.
Yeah.
That I'm having. Well, I want to ask you guys, which one attachment, what are they called now?
Attachment styles.
Attachment styles. Obviously, nobody has a secure attachment style. Okay.
Why? Why would you say that?
I was assuming.
Oh. Why would you assume that?
I will assume that nobody. Okay, if you have a secure attachment style, good for you. Rainbows and popsicles.
Really, sir?
I'm trying to see which one or what do people have as far as what attachment style do you think you have? If you're being honest with yourself, do you have anxious, avoidant, or disorganized attachment styles? Which one do you think you have and why? Let me see. LOL, I'm low-key drawn to the avoidant attachment about myself because that extra vulnerability is ghetto, but I know it's needed. Yeah, listen, you got to be vulnerable, CC. You got to be vulnerable. You got to be vulnerable with the right person and in the right space. Okay.
Right.
You can't just be emoting vulnerability everywhere because not everybody's ready for that
at all.
And people, want to be vulnerable, but it's a time and a place for it.
For everything.
Yeah. Right. What else? Who else has? I was telling you about this. I dated a girl who had the anxious attachment. Yeah.
What? Why? How did you know? Because there's more information, but how did you know? What did she do? Let's see some of the traits.
The traits.
Let's go to the next slide. Because I want to know what made you feel like, she was the one with the anxious. So this is a lot of information. If you want all of this information, you're welcome to it. So secure, I'm not going to read. We're going to go to anxious because you said someone was anxious.
Yeah.
So the signs are strong fear of abandonment,
right,
a constant need for reassurance,
right,
obsessive worry and anxious,
right,
frequently feels insecure, inability to trust partner, possessive, frequent desires for intimacy, impulse, extreme and unpredictable emotional reactions, and overly sensitive to partner's moods.
Yeah, she was all that.
So give me an example of something that she would do.
I would go out of town to go visit my mom when she was sick, and everything was good. Then when I got out of town, even though I said, hey, I made it, I'm here, I'm going to chill with my mom, chill with family, I'll be calling you periodically throughout the time while I'm here. And I would call often. I'm not going to lie. If I had some downtime, I would call. But as soon as I didn't call in a timely manner in which she thought, she would get an attitude. And then as soon as I got back, everything's fine. So she's arguing with me or trying to argue with me because I would hang up the phone a lot. She's arguing with me the whole time saying, you're down there doing this, you're down there doing that, and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, this is not what's happening. I'm literally down here visiting my sick mom.
Wow.
And so she later revealed that she had a fear of abandonment because to her, every time I left out that door, I was leaving her. And I'm like, we're not together.
Wait a minute. Y'all weren't even... Goodbye. I can't even talk to you right now. What did Jacob say? I'm not even, no.
I shift between secure and avoidant. I'm good, but even if I'm not, I'm still good. Don't want to lay my shit on nobody else. I get that. I get that. The shift, now my question is, does the shift happen depending on the situation? I'm guessing it does. Is that how it works?
I mean, typically it can, but typically somebody is in like, I'm okay staying here. Okay. I'm good. I'm secure. Or typically people want to move towards security. Right. Right? They want security. But it sounds like Jacob was like, if you're here, you're here. If you're not, you're not. Okay, then. Okay. I got my beer barbecue.
I got my beer ribs. That's all I need.
Right. That avoidant, the person that I talk about quite frequently, you don't have to say what we call them. Thank you. They had avoidant. They had avoidant because it was like the emotional part, like they seemed like they had very high self-esteem, right? Very full of themselves, very puffed up. I'm not talking about you, Jacob.
Puffed up.
But then it was always like, there's a reason for me to leave this relationship. Right. Right. There's always a reason for me to leave. It's that you're not doing this. You're not doing that. You must be cheating on me. You're doing this.
There's a rabbit over there, and I know you do not deal with rabbits, so I'm leaving. And you're like, what? What does this have to do? This is just. Sierra says, I'm anxious and avoidant. LOL. Okay. Okay. Honestly, I feel as though I won't find anyone, to be honest, because I feel as though I can't trust anyone. And for me, it's my size, and then most guys I like don't want to date. That's a lot.
We're going to talk about some of that.
That's a lot.
Angel, you can have whatever you like. That's the thing that people don't really understand.
Okay, Tia.
Right?
You
can have whatever you like. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Big, eyes.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, but really, it all starts with you, though.
Yeah.
If you feel like that you're not good enough,
Yeah.
then of course other people are going to be like, okay, they see that and feel that energy projecting from you. So there's something that you have to heal to make sure that you can have what you like. You can create what it is that you want, need, and desire in your life. It is up to you.
Yeah.
Yep.
She continues by saying, the good guys I like don't want relationships, so I let it go because it's just not good for me to try to date anymore.
Question, are they good guys?
Yeah. Who says they good?
Yeah. And how are you defining good?
Right.
Good.
Yeah.
Them air quotes.
Yeah, we didn't vet them for you. Okay. So they're not good. Let's start right there. Let's start right there.
All right.
Jacob says, if I'm not feeling okay, I'll lie and say I'm okay to avoid causing anyone else problems. Is that healthy?
That's avoidant.
Is that healthy?
No.
That's avoidant.
That's avoidant. Jacob, thank you for sharing. That's very vulnerable. We really appreciate that.
Very vulnerable.
Yeah.
Very vulnerable.
For you not to engage, like you're finding reasons to push people away that, hey, this isn't going to work because all of my stuff. We were talking to somebody about that not too long ago, right? Like, I'm not going to do this because I don't want to put this on you. So I'm going to just leave you alone because I'm a lot to deal with. Really? No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Greetings.
Oh, so this guy right here, this is one of my favorite guys. Shout out to B. I can't use his government name because he knows where I live. I'm just playing. Okay. It's one of my coworkers at work at the group up there.
Too much now.
No, he ain't gonna get us. He ain't gonna get us.
Look at me. Move on.
We good. You got to check out his YouTube. Boy got skills on that mic. Underrated. We're begging him for another album. He bullshit no. But shout out to him. Hey sis. The voices of the building.
Hey, with Dre. Hey, Dre. What up?
Birthday guy. That's good.
Happy
Thank you guys 40th. For tuning in.
Oh, I just told his age. I probably shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, he's 12.
That's right.
Well, I don't know, LOL, but they seem nice and I guess and
she
clean, good hygiene
and Christian.
Girl, no.
We don't have to talk about this list that you got. That's basic.
Yes.
But I'm gonna leave that there. We're gonna keep talking though. Angel, please text me.
Yeah.
Look, please send me a message.
Give us a call.
Okay.
Give us a call.
So fearful. If we look at fearful or the disorganized one, people that have low esteem.
Yeah.
Low esteem. And form dependent relationships. So this is where codependency comes in. They display high levels of distress within relationships. So display unpredictable behavior. So this is where some people are like, oh yeah, she bipolar. I'm like, that is not a diagnosis. Please stop it. Exhibits strong fear of getting hurt, dramatic and overly emotional response to conflict, has difficulty trusting others. During an argument, they just shut down and leave.
Or they just shut down and stay.
That's true.
And not say anything.
That's true.
Yeah. Like that makes it any better. But yeah, it's definitely a deep situation when you want to shut down and stay or go. And then you come back to that situation and you kind of go around having that conversation.
Or just act like nothing ever happened. Okay. So what are we having for dinner tonight? Right.
And we sitting up there cooking like this crazy bitch.
So I'm going to read Secure, even though you said it's butterflies and unicorns and all of that.
It is.
Secure attachments are categorized by people with high self-esteem and comfortable in intimidating relationships. I don't have my glasses on. Sorry, guys. They are able to set up healthy boundaries and can effectively navigate conflict. Navigate conflict. Love that. Because a lot of people think I'm only in a healthy relationship if there's no conflict.
No.
There is conflict because people are different and people are people-y.
People are peopling. And not only are they peopling, you are peopling
all the time.
You don't even know it
all the time.
So conflict tends to come about. Okay.
So the signs of a secure attachment: able to form emotional bonds, collaborative and reciprocal. That's my favorite word right there. Reciprocity. Trusting and confidence in the partner.
Right.
Responds to conflict using calm and rational approaches.
Right.
Well attuned to inner emotions.
Say this one with your chest.
Freely communicates their needs.
Freely communicates their needs.
Mm-hmm. Comfortable with intimacy.
Right. Last one.
Expresses love and commitment.
So that is kind of not if you don't have any of these, then you don't have a secure relationship. If you have something in the ballpark or something exactly like it, then yes, you have a secure relationship.
And you can be moving towards it. Like if that's the goal, you're moving there.
Right.
Right?
Right. Right. Okay. So what type of attachment is when you bring up a problem to someone and they just shut down and don't even respond or react?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
remember?
Yeah. We just said it. Was that the avoidant?
It could be fearful avoidant. It might be a combination of the two.
Yeah. And you know how you deal with that is if you're on the receiving end of someone using this attachment style, first you have to think in real time and recognize that they're using this attachment style. Mm-hmm. So this is what they're using against you. They're bringing up problems or you're bringing up a problem to someone, wanting to have a conversation, and then they shut down on you, and that's that. They don't even want to respond. So understand, okay, this is what you're doing right now at this point in time. Right. And later on in this podcast, we're going to show you how to deal with that. So that's definitely good.
So one of the things that you have to understand, and we talked about this with one of our couples over the weekend, right?
We did.
They're not really activated. They're activated, but it's not really because of you. It's because they're triggered. Right. Now, I don't like that word. I don't, because people overuse it. However, what that just means is you just reminded them of something in their past. And when we're talking about attachment styles, we're typically talking about the way that someone grew up in their family of origin, right? So what happened with their mom and dad, how they attached with them, their siblings, all of those things. So it's just coming out in a different way. And so you can recognize that and say, hey, so I'm not trying to attack you at this point.
Right.
I see that maybe this has brought up some things for you. I still want to talk, but I need for you to be an active participant. And
I just want to have a conversation. If you don't want to have a conversation now, and you're feeling this way, we can come back to it, but we can't avoid it. It's not good to avoid it. Right. I just want to have a conversation. And I get if you don't want to have a conversation, but shutting down, not responding, and just simply avoiding it is not making the problem go away.
Right.
All right. The voice says fearful partners are more afraid of being alone than being without. That's deep.
Yeah.
Fearful of being alone more than being without. However, while in the relationship, they suffer silently the internal fears that stem from insecurities. Yeah. That fear from being alone more than they fear being without. What she's saying is they fear you not being there and them having to be by themselves more than they fear an argument with you, not talking to you, giving you the silent treatment, any of the attachment disorders that you or attachment styles that you see. They fear you not being there more than putting you through any one of that.
Right.
The fear of you going, not calling back, not coming back, not talking, ghosting, they fear that more than anything else.
Not being, I don't want to be alone. I don't want to face me. Right. I don't want to be alone with me. Right. I'm like, but everywhere you go, there you are.
Right.
Everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. That was a good one. My ex was like that. Oh, yeah, I know. It gets that way, but definitely work with who you got now and keep that hopeful going that you'll be the one setting the tone because you're tuning into our podcast.
Yeah.
You're learning different styles and different ways to effectively communicate with the person you got now.
Yeah.
So you'll be well armed mentally to do what you do. A piece of a man is better than none.
That is a conversation that happened, like I would say, with my mom's generation and the generation before that.
Yeah.
And a piece of man is better. Betty Wright. A piece of man better than no man. Actually, no, that's not true.
Here's what's interesting. Men feel the same way about women. And that's not talked about. That's why a piece of a woman.
No. Piece. That's what I'm talking about.
Or that piece.
Yeah, right? That's what I was talking about.
Or just any other piece of a small attention, a little affection, whatever. A piece of a woman is better than having nothing at all. Right. That's why they'll take the disrespect. That's why they'll take the woman taking their money. That's why they'll take the woman cheating on them, verbally abusing them, mentally manipulating them, emotionally manipulating. They'll take all of that because they'd rather take that than not have anything at all and to have to start over. Right? So they, on both sides of the coin, men and women deal with that, right? Having a piece of somebody is better than having none. What we're saying is that's cap. That's cap.
Thank you, baby, for that. That's totally cap.
That's cap. No, because while you're wanting a piece of somebody so you won't feel alone, you're here looking at what you want to keep. On the backside, if you would just turn around, there are 15 other people who want the whole part of you. Okay, so you don't have to worry about a piece when you can just turn around and get the whole part if you know what you're doing. Right.
Just like Lil Murloc said, you can have whatever you like.
Right. Lil Murloc is dope. The word attachment raises a red flag. Is that another? It's a word for it.
Go ahead. Okay,
I don't want to attach myself to anyone, nor do I want anyone to be attached to me. An attachment is a one-sided latching onto someone or something else.
You know, they can be like pushing. Okay, then. I got you. Let me stretch a little bit, Jacob, for you. Okay.
This is one of the reasons he got his black card. This is one of the reasons.
That's true.
Yeah.
So, and I get what you're saying when someone attaches to you. So we could say relationship style if you like, right? So if you are involved in an anxious relationship style, that means one of two of the people, or three or five, it kind of depends on what kind of relationship you got, it's feeling away.
Right.
So that's what that means. So I get what you're saying. So if you have a secure relationship, yes, then you have these things. But if you have an anxious attachment, I see where you would say that would be a red flag. So I might change my language around that, Jacob. Thank you. I appreciate you.
That may do a little something. He be putting it in there. He also says an attachment feels like the product of an addictive personality. I prefer the word connection. Okay. A connection comes from both sides of the equation. It's mutual by nature, not parasitic.
Parasitic. Ooh. Okay. Yeah. I don't know if you saw it in there, but there's those codependent things as you just related to, like that addictive personality.
Yeah.
It's that codependent relationship that it feels like this person is dependent on me. So I'm dependent on them. So I appreciate you saying that. So I'm going to change my language around connection, secure connection. But I think I'm still going to say anxious attachment, avoidant attachment, fearful attachment, because those I think can lead to codependent relationships and they go that way. But thank you.
Yeah.
That boy be preaching.
He do be preaching. I had an attachment with my ex, gave me the vision of my future.
What kind of attachment?
Okay.
Because listen, people can be with you for a reason or a season.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And they can be the reason for you going to the next season too. They can be. So there are things that the powers that be can utilize that person that you're with to give you a message, and that was the reason why they were with you.
That was it.
That's it.
Yeah.
So that doesn't mean that you have to hold on to them.
No.
It's you hold on and decipher what the information is, and you keep moving forward.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it says people have settled. We have normalized meeting people where they are versus where they desire to be.
Participation. Here's your participation trophy. Thank you for participating in this relationship.
Right.
Sorry.
A relationship with accountability means neither party is settling, and work towards a better us. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Accountability is a curse word for a lot of women.
Yeah. I say for some men too, but
it is it's some men too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
definitely, definitely for men, but a lot of women.
Yep.
We're gonna say that on both sides. Inserting one definition of attachment: affection, fondness, or sympathy for someone or something. An affectionate relationship between two people. Okay.
So right. I get that. Thank you.
All right.
Look, I love that our folks are like really with it. They like, come on, let's bring it. Let's bring it. Okay.
Yeah. Love it.
All right. So let's go to the next. So the question is, you all answered, what is your attachment style? Some of you did.
Yeah.
But how do you think it impacts your relationship?
Yeah. How do you think your attachment style impacts your relationship? I think attachment styles impact relationships if they're not recognized and people are going through the motions thinking that they don't have these certain attachment styles, right? It's like going through the motions and not wanting to recognize and or say, I have a problem, I have an issue, I have something like that.
Right. But a lot of times if people don't see it, how can they recognize it?
That is true.
Right.
That is true. They're blind to their own issues and or ways.
Right.
But I only think that they're only as blind as they perceive to be because the people that they're with are constantly pointing it out. So you can't be that blind. You know, that turns to willful ignorance at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we should put up the phone number and have people call in. What do you think?
We should.
Yeah. So we want to hear from you guys. We have a phone number, yes, that you can call. Please call in. The number is 346-800-4639.
Yeah, we got that down.
I can read. Yay me.
Yes.
I think a lot of people feel like, well, if I'm not in a relationship, my attachment style doesn't matter.
It does.
It does
matter.
because you're in a relationship with lots of people.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You go to work, you have friends, you have coworkers, you have parents, maybe you have siblings. There is someone that you're in relationships with.
Yep.
And that's why I put relationship or possible S, because there's a lot of people that you could be in relationship with.
And the relationship doesn't necessarily mean, like you said, I want to focus on that because attachment styles can show up at work. Attachment styles can show up when dealing with other family members. Attachment styles can show up in dealing with not only your partner, but in dealing with yourself.
Yeah.
So attachment styles show up in every single place that you can think of in every facet of your life.
Oh, Angel.
I don't neither attachment style, no relationship anyway. You don't want either?
I think that she's saying I don't have either.
You don't have either.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you do. You have an attachment style. It will come out. So utilize any of those resources to see what it is. And there are lots of quizzes that you can take online too. And I'll put some, in the description after this, but to say, hey, what's your attachment style? And you can do a little test and they're like, you're this.
Yeah.
So yeah,
there's attachment styles. You may not want to recognize it or think about it, but there are attachment styles that you are exhibiting and which gives you possibly the reason why you're having the issues that you're having, right?
Recognize.
Yeah, I think when you have a mixture of them, it can cause one being misinterpreted as acting different. A little bit.
Say more about that. Acting different.
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh, she did.
In many different types of relationships.
Huh. So are you saying that you can have different attachment styles in different relationships?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Call in.
Yes.
Let us know. Call that number at the bottom
for you to call in
and let us know. Don't be afraid to talk.
Right.
Okay. Don't be afraid to say anything. Call in. Let us know. We want your opinion. We want your voice. Actually,
yes,
we want your voice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. A tick attaches itself to a buffalo. The attachment is beneficial to the tick, but not to the buffalo. But the oxpecker bird eats the tick off the buffalo, which is a mutually beneficial relationship.
Yeah.
I get that. And I love that you're giving me all of this like nature stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like it is a little avoidant. Like you're not really talking about your possible relationships. And this is not therapy. This is just, us sharing information. But I understand that you want a mutual beneficial relationship that would be secure.
Yeah.
That is the thought of going towards something that is healthy and reciprocal.
But how mutually beneficial is it if when you are going through something, you push people away?
It is not.
Right?
It is not.
Right. You don't allow, it seems like, I'm not saying you do, Jacob, but it seems like you may not allow some people to help you in a relationship or in a situation that may require or may be the situation, optimal time to allow somebody to help you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just going based off what you said earlier. Both people in a relationship have to bring something to the table.
Most definitely.
He said, bring something to the table. We're going to get in trouble.
You better.
We're going to get in trouble. But yeah, that's definitely right.
Most definitely.
Most people have to bring stuff to the relationship. They have to have something to offer their relationship in some shape, form, or fashion.
Yep.
That is mutually beneficial. That's right.
I agree.
That's definitely right.
So the next question, are your basic physiological and safety needs being met in your relationship? Now, if you're not currently in a relationship, I want you to think back to your last relationship.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So some of you are like, no, I'm not in a relationship, so this doesn't apply to you. Actually, it does. With non-judgmental curiosity, we're looking back at things that have happened to help us determine how we can do something different.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So
let's see.
And we want to. You want to do something different because you're tired of having the same results. Mm-hmm. Okay, you're tired of having the same results, so you want to do something different.
Yep.
All right. Attachment/connection styles are important. It sheds light on what your boundaries are, how to open and close yourself off you may be, how open or closed you off you may be, your level of intimacy or your capacity to share yourself, etc.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It speaks to all that. Truth. It does speak to all that.
True.
Yeah. Laura says, does bringing something to the table equate to one's value?
What people always go to that. I don't think it just goes to value. It's how you're thinking, what you're feeling, the one that you hate. How emotionally aware are you?
I don't hate that.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't hate that.
When it's weaponized.
Well, I hate anything when it's weaponized, but it doesn't equate, in my opinion, it doesn't equate to your value. It gives well, that's the same thing it does. It does. It might. But value is based on perception. So if you perceive one's value based off your needs, then it's not valuable.
So you know what automatically came to my mind? What? And we've had this conversation on, I got an education. I'm this. Yeah. I'm that. Yeah. Da. And that's what they are bringing to the table. Like, here's my education.
If that's not valuable to the person that's not looking for that, then yeah, it doesn't. So I guess it does equate to your value. Thank you for screwing with my head. I appreciate it.
We appreciate that perspective.
It's value based on perception on what you're looking for. So it doesn't say it's not valuable, but if it's not of value to you because that's not what you're looking for, then yeah, it does equate to value. So
Right.
Yeah.
It could be like, are you willing to work with me?
Right.
Are you willing to be there for me when I'm going through something?
Can I trust you?
Can I trust you? Yes.
Right.
Got it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. My relationship was a situationship, so it was trash and worst experience ever. Yeah, you can't be listening to Jada Pinkett. She be in all kinds of situationships. Yeah, I definitely understand that.
I love this. And my fault, I let it happen. You know what, Angel? I like you taking responsibility. I like that. Accountability is huge.
That's why you winning, because you take accountability.
Yeah.
That's why you winning.
Yeah.
That's exactly why you winning.
Yeah.
Sarah says, I think emotional safety was something that suffered from lack of awareness.
Yeah, I don't think people understand that emotional safety is important, or what that. I don't think I know we're not taught emotional safety.
No,
we're not.
We're not taught emotional
physical safety.
Yeah,
physicalities. My body's safe with you. I'm good. We can go somewhere. You're gonna protect me. All of that. But my heart, my emotions, my mental, right? All of that out the window.
Yeah. Yeah. Emotional safety is something. Emotional safety is something.
Okay.
Hey, listen.
McQueen.
Listen. Again, if it's something that you value and that you deem as valuable based on where you're trying to go and what you're looking for, then of course that brings value to that person.
Yeah.
But does that make that person invaluable across the board? No, I don't think so. Does it determine one's value based on perception? I would think.
Right.
But definitely, yeah, it does equate to value based on perception. And we perceive what we need, therefore we place value on things that we perceive as valuable.
McQueen making us think.
Yes, he messing with me today. Another answering the other questions, I was saying, let's say I'm both anxious and avoidant, and when I go from one to another, it could be perceived as acting differently. But in actuality, it's just complexity.
Correct.
Okay.
It is.
Yeah.
So my question, you know where I'm going, Sierra, where did you learn that? What is the root of that? And having to deal with that is something that we're going to talk about a little bit later.
Yeah.
So yeah, you have to confront that.
Got to confront that.
Yeah.
Got to confront that.
There's something that you need to address.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let's just say one personality or nature versus change due to action.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Or your decision to do something different. Yeah.
Because that comes a lot.
Yeah.
The decision wanting to do something different comes a lot.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. It was, to be honest, he was talking to his ex and me and only wanted sex just with me, and I wanted to be with him, which was stupid. I wouldn't say it was stupid because I didn't think you knew. Like, if you knew he was talking to his ex and you at the same time, unless you knew the entire time, then I could probably say that was not smart. I'm not going to say it's stupid, right? What I am going to say is it's not stupid because you didn't know.
Right.
You know, it's only not smart when you know and then you continue said behavior knowing the result or what's really going on behind the scenes. So I wouldn't say it's stupid, though. But I definitely get what you're saying. If you're not emotionally aware of your partner's needs consistently, can that be a deal killer?
Yes.
It can, if those needs are legitimate.
All right.
If they're legitimate needs and you're not aware of the legitimate needs or the actual needs, because we all have superficial, surface level needs that we present to our partners and people. And then it's like, oh, well, that's all they need. Right?
Yeah.
It's like presenting your representative to somebody that you're just now meeting. Right?
True.
But when you give them the deeper level needs that you need, by having conversation and understanding, and once you have a good grasp on that, and then you don't produce on those needs from the surface level to the deeper needs, then yeah, it could be a deal killer. But you got to do it on a consistent basis or as much as needed. And then you have to make sure that those needs are legitimate and that you're doing it in the way that they deem is the right way for them.
So if we go to those safety needs, like remember we were talking physical, the I is intellectual needs. Are you feeding my mind? Are you creating a safe environment for me to think? The E is emotions.
Right.
Are you taking, I don't want to say caretaking because no one is responsible for caretaking any emotions.
Nope.
But can you hear my emotions? Can we talk about my emotions and then also talk about your emotions, that exchange, right? And then spiritually, socially, and sexually, can we have an exchange of the minds, communications, and feel safe in those 3 areas as well? So when we talk about safety, like it's a lot of things to consider. But again, like you said, that emotionally aware, that's in that safety. And if that person doesn't feel safe, it could be a deal breaker, right?
Could be. It could be. But again, safety is perception based on the actual needs.
Yep.
Right? Because you could be providing all of those needs and they still may not feel that they're safe, and they still may feel like it's a deal breaker, so it's time to go.
Yeah.
Right? As your sister, Angel, situationships or not, the experience was based on your previous statement of he was a good guy, Christian, and good hygiene. Even choosing a dog, it's more
it's more than breed.
It's more than breed. Okay. Yeah. So because of that experience, I just don't know about dating or even what to look for anymore, because I just think most guys don't want a relationship.
Angel, let me just stop you right here.
Yeah.
Let me tell you who you need to date. You ready, baby?
Oh, this is going to really blow your mind. Yourself.
You need to fall in love with you first before you can even think about being in a relationship with anybody else.
Yeah.
Please give me a call.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Fall in love with you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Both people in a relationship have to see the value in one another and work to push one another. Value is proportionate. That is a big statement.
Mm-hmm.
It is proportionate. You're right. To what we see in each other and one another, and what we believe is possible for one another.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Jacob, man.
Jacob cooking. Go and get that man a spatula and an apron.
I mean, for real.
Boy cooking. You are worth more experiences than you have allowed yourself to have. So start thinking about what you specifically want to deserve. I guess they're still responding to Angel.
Yep.
Okay. I think a person has to be emotionally aware of themselves to expect it from another person. Yeah, you got to be emotionally aware.
Thank you, Sierra.
Of yourself. Again, if you're emotionally aware, then you know what to look for, what should happen, and what doesn't happen.
That's why I'm encouraging folks to fall in love with themselves first. It has to start with you.
Yeah. Yeah. It's good to know that there's a platform like this to help people, not just like me, but others going through the thing.
Of course. That's why we're here.
Of course.
That's why we're here.
They said until you let go of that belief that previous guys are all good guys, and understand that it has to change in how we as the person operate and choose, I think we will not see the best.
Yep.
All right. And she's like, look, you're right. Look at that support.
Support. Love.
And that's what we're here for. We're here to have these conversations and these dialogues so we can learn from one another, understand where each one is coming from, and then take this back to our own micro environment and implement said situations or said knowledge that we learned to help us do better.
Right. So it's non-judgmental curiosity here, loving on each other and getting through to the next place, uplifting each other.
Right.
So the next question is, how do you and your partner support each other's emotional needs for love and belonging? So remember, we're building on safety. Then the next one is love and belonging. So that is where, again, your family of origin has basically taught you how to do love and belonging. So I didn't feel like I was loved or I belonged for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
So I had to really do some work around that. So that's just me. And my family of origin, we were just kind of disparate. My mom worked quite a bit. She was a single parent. My brother is 5-6 years older than me. So I spent a lot of time by myself.
Yeah.
So I didn't feel really connected.
Yeah.
And so for a long time, I had abandonment issues. My dad wasn't in the house. So I had to really think about like how I could meet those needs for myself, and then communicating with my partner about those needs.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. That's deep. I like that.
Thanks.
What does falling in love with yourself look like?
Oh, McQueen.
It looks beautiful.
So whenever I'm in therapeutic process with folks, I ask them, like, will you take this journey in dating yourself, prioritizing yourself, making time for you, loving on you, going into you, thinking about like when you first meet someone and butterflies that you have for them and how you always want to see them, right? We spend time with ourselves, but we typically spend time with ourselves not paying attention to ourselves.
Right.
So we're like, we got a call. Okay, Danica, hold on.
Let's see.
Hold on. Oh. Hello. Hello.
Hi. How you doing?
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Oh goodness.
Okay, let's put it on. Let's go this way.
Okay, can you hear? Hey. Denise. Hey, how are you?
Good. Hold
Uh-oh.
Turn your volume down so it won't be an echo.
on. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes. Thank you for calling.
There was something you just said that reminded me of our conversation we had yesterday with regard to living yourself. Well, part of that, for what you learn through therapy and even with the conversation, with the Cleveland conversation, is that the part of living yourself, and there was a guy who said his therapist asked him what are the qualities you look for in your partner, and he read down his long list of things. He said, okay, good. He said, you not going to ask me what I think I can offer to my partner? She said, he said, why not? She said, because what you're asking your partner, you should be able to give to yourself.
Well,
okay. All right.
You're right about that.
One of the things I thought about the last conversation of the Cleveland call was that as I spent the last 3 years after my divorce, working on myself, it was things I didn't like about myself, but it was also things that I heard repeated. You know, like when people tear you down, they want to hurt you, or your family upbringing, and it was something that I needed to do because it also started to show up in how my daughter felt about herself.
Right.
Okay.
So raising my daughter required, to me, I feel like it required me to do a little bit more soul searching because to be the best mom I could be to her, I needed to know what that looked like for me instead of sometimes, I would be honest, putting my child, not going to say second, but you would consider love with someone. You're trying to like, mommy, you're like, well, hey, I'm going to go out with this person, or I'm doing this. And I realized, let me do this for myself. I love being by myself. I love cooking for myself. I actually realize I like being a little bit selfish right now, taking care of myself so I can learn how to do things alone.
Let me give you a different word, because whenever I hear people say they're being selfish, I'm like, it's not selfish. It's self-preservation. It's self-preservation.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not selfish because for your child to sustain, you have to be sustained.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Okay.
I do agree. So the part of loving yourself, I've learned, like I said, these last 3 years, I've been in and out of relationships quickly. And I realized I didn't love myself as an adult. I remember when I was as a child, or when I was a teenager, as an adult, in and out of relationships, I spent a lot of time catering to someone else, but did I cater to me? Did I know what I liked? Did I know what I didn't like?
No.
Because when I was tell somebody what I wanted, sometimes I'm like, I don't know. And that is like the worst question. Instances of what, when you say I'm alone, you should be able to who is trying your patient definitely knows.
Yeah.
That something that you wouldn't even do to yourself.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh, Danica, thank you so much for calling. That is it. Like, you falling in love with yourself. Someone said it's just self-care. It's way above self-care, though.
Yeah.
It is radically falling in love with you and loving all parts of you radically, regardless.
Yeah.
Regardless.
Yeah.
You might have a little pooch, but that's okay. I still love myself. I still feel good about myself. I still, I'm still trying to be the best me. It is being in love with you. I think we are so socialized to love other people more than we love ourselves.
Yeah.
Because that, again, I go back to that thought that you said, it's selfish to love yourself. It is not.
No.
It is not selfish.
And the reason we love other people more than we love ourselves is because we're expecting them to feel what we don't do ourselves.
Correct.
So that's why we're looking for other people to love us, and we're loving them, hoping that they can fulfill what we are supposed to be fulfilling ourselves.
Right.
Yeah.
Those cracks, those broken pieces or bent pieces within ourselves.
Right.
When I was saying there are times that we're with ourselves, that we're not really paying attention to ourselves. That's the time where you go into yourself to heal those pieces and look at those things that have hurt you. When you were saying that it was rhetoric in your ear about what other people has said to you, sometimes the tape sounds like our own voice.
Right.
And we have to recognize that it's not our voice. It's something that Big Mama said, or Cousin JoJo said, or somebody said to us to make us feel bad.
Right.
And going back to heal that portion and loving on yourself there is the start. Thank you so much for calling. We appreciate you.
Thank you so much for calling. Definitely.
Thank you. It was too much to type.
I got you.
We appreciate you calling. You brave girl. Thank you, girl. All right. Bye-bye.
Jaco says the fortune cookie company didn't see any potential in me.
Whatever. Listen, you got it. You cooking. Like we said, you cooking.
They was jealous. That's all I was. Kat says dating yourself is everything and so much fun because, girl, it's a game changer when you're attracting what you desire and recognizing when you're settling for less than what you deserve.
So, I set up a whole curriculum called Plushing.
Yeah.
And for those of you who know me or in therapeutic process with me, there's a whole curriculum, and it came from Hot Boy Summer and then cuffing season. Yeah. And I'm like, no, Plushing, and it's an acronym, is in season and out of season because it is always about you. Yeah. So again, if you won't know what Plushing is, come to Queendom and definitely hit me up and we'll talk. We'll chat.
Shout out to Brandon.
Hey, B.
Be up there getting that money. Said his power came on a couple days ago.
Glad you got power.
Glad you got power, brother.
Yes.
I've never been able to obtain self-love, so I gave up on the whole idea of finding love and marriage.
Wow.
I don't think giving up is the right idea. I think that you got to go back to the drawing board and see where you made the wrong turn at. Because the underlying factor in every case is you. Mm-hmm. Your choice, your decision, the red flags you chose to ignore, the red flags you weren't aware of, but came later and you didn't know what to do, or the self-red flags that you were projecting, that you were aware of, that you didn't know, so forth and so forth. So
I like, though, that they're saying, I didn't achieve it within me, so I haven't tried to project anything on anybody else. Right. So I believe it's still starting with you. Yeah. And I appreciate you doing that. But I'm encouraging you to keep trying, because you are totally worth the self-love and appreciation.
Yeah. Laura says it's a form of self-care, or it's self-care. It's a form of self-care, but it's more like self-love, self-preservation, just being in tune with self. Self-care can look like getting your hair done, getting your nails done, working out, things like that. That's self-care. Self-love is really loving the bad as well as the good aspects of yourself, and then working on trying to change those aspects, digging deeper into the psyche of why you think the way you think, why you approach situations the way you approach situations, Why do you believe and look at life the way you look at life?
Right.
So when you have those deep conversations with self and you're honest with self, okay, that's the key. You not only do you have to have these deep conversations, but you have to be totally honest with yourself. Because if you lie to yourself, that's one person that's not going to believe you lie. You can lie to yourself all day long, but yourself knows what you're going to do because consciously or subconsciously, you're going to end up doing it. Yeah. So when you don't lie to yourself and you have an honest conversation about yourself, and then you start to develop better traits, better habits, better, situational awareness, better emotional intelligence. That's a form of loving yourself and being in tune with yourself. And so self-care adds to that love of self and dating self. So it's basically saying, my wife says this all the time, would you date you? Right? And if you have to think about it, then you wouldn't. No. Yeah, the answer is no. The answer is no. You wouldn't date you.
I think a lot of people they're not present with themselves.
Right.
Like if we go to dinner, we're going to engage with each other. We're going to talk to each other, right? I think a lot of people think, well, if I talk to myself, I'm quote unquote crazy. You are not. You should be having deeper it can be internal dialogue with yourself.
Right.
I talk out loud to myself because I need to hear it sometimes.
She does.
I do.
She really does.
Hey, I do.
Brandon says, I love the hell out of myself. That's good.
Get it, B.
That's good. That's how it's supposed to be. How do we build that safety emotionality within ourselves? That's a solid question.
Yeah, you have to go back in. I think, again, we're socialized to be validated going out. So when a 2-year-old or a baby wants to be picked up, they do this, right? Everybody can see me. Pick me up, right? We're not taught to go into ourselves.
Yeah.
Into ourselves.
Yeah.
So one of the easiest exercises that I give folks is self-hugging, going to a place in your life where you didn't feel safe, thinking about really letting yourself think about that. It might have been when you were 5 or 10 or whatever, and going to that place and loving on yourself and telling yourself, it's okay. I'm here for you. I support you. I love you. All of those things to start healing those things. Yeah. And of course, finding a therapist, finding a support group, finding those things that help you deal with those things of safety, emotional awareness within yourself.
Yeah. One of the things that helped me was, especially in a difficult time of divorce, I went back to stuff that I used to like doing when I was a teenager: bowling, skating, softball, pool, going to the swimming pool, things like that. And as an adult, you find, do you still like those things? Some of us are around here and we don't know ourselves so much that we don't even know what we like to do for fun outside of what we're doing to suppress ourselves. Like we know very well how to suppress ourselves, but we don't know what we like to do for fun. We come across that in our practice all the time. We ask people, what do you like to do for fun? What do you like to do for you? And a lot of people don't really know.
Unless it's, I get my hair done, I get my nails done. Those are the things that people say.
Yeah, the superficial stuff.
Like, do you like tennis?
Yeah.
Do you like running?
What kind of movies you like?
Yeah.
Do you go? What happened to going to the movies? What happened to going to the mall and walking around? I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff that you used to like doing until you fell out of love with self or fell out of tune with self.
Right.
And so once you get in tune with yourself, you'll start doing stuff that you like to do. And let's be honest, being in love with yourself, falling in tune with yourself, or being in tune with yourself is creating a blueprint. And once you love yourself and you're in tune with yourself, you can show somebody else how to love you by giving them that blueprint.
Yeah.
By saying, this is how I love me. This is how you can get an idea to love me, because this is what I do for myself in loving myself and taking care of myself. I'm with myself all the time. You're going to add to my happiness. You're not going to supplement my happiness, because I give myself all the happiness I need because I love myself, right?
I'll give you a quick example. So when we met, I used to buy myself flowers all the time. All the time.
Right.
Like he would come visit me at my house and I would have flowers everywhere, in my bedroom, in the living room, in the kitchen, everywhere. Because I like flowers. That was a thing for me, that I would buy myself flowers every week. And so when he was like, oh, she likes flowers. He took that note, put it in his head, and he buys me flowers.
Right.
Like that taught him how to treat me.
Yeah.
Very simple.
At random.
Yeah. Very, very simple.
Right. Recognize that there are emotional needs that may be different than your own, seeking to understand and not just be understood, giving them reassurance through action and communication. That's good old Dr. Dre over there.
Thank you, Dre. Yeah.
But you're right, sir. Definitely right. You hit the nail right on the head. It's not just about seeking to understand. It's about, trying to be understood and seeking to understand. It's not about not only giving yourself assurance or reassurance, but it's about learning how to give the other person reassurance as well through action and clear communication. So Dre hit that right on the head.
Yep.
Jaco says, I grew up poor. My dad was an addict, never kept a job. I never believed I was good enough for most women. It took time to see my own value. Mentorship is important. Take advice from older people, older sane people.
Yeah, because there's a whole bunch of fools out there that's old
It's a whole bunch. But, having a mentor, having somebody you could talk to, definitely that will guide you in the right direction and give you and challenge your perception and growth. That's definitely something that, is important. So you had something good right there that came into your life and gave you value or helped you see the value within yourself. That's
Thank you
amazing.
for sharing that.
Yeah. Do you put your phones away when you're out on dinner dates? Yes and no.
Yeah, yes and no.
Yes
a
and
lot
no.
of times we're working sometimes. And then there's sometimes like we're like, okay, we need to stop.
Yeah.
We need to put this away.
Yeah. And the reason it's yes and no is simply because we literally we don't know how to turn work off sometimes.
Which is bad.
And because we work with each other, for us, it's not work. It's really enjoying each other. So our conversations always blend from work to life to whatever else comes about. So it's just hard for us to
shut it off.
Yeah, to shut off work sometimes. But even when we're not on our phones, we're still talking about work. So the conversation is, I think for us, I would say, for me and my wife, the conversation and the sparring of minds and passing of ideas has always been there.
Yeah.
So
that's how we started.
Yeah, that's how
mentally sparring.
Yeah, there's a mental spar. There's a mental spar. But yeah, putting your phone away and giving attention and challenging perceptions and having conversations, that's definitely always good to do.
Now, there are times where when we are intentional about going on a date, you're not on your phone. You're not. And you'll be like, I need to finish this one thing, close my phone. Okay. So but most of the time, okay,
that's good. That's a good question. We need more questions like that asking us about us to give y'all some things.
Yes, we did say older sane people because there's a whole bunch of old fools out there.
Yeah,
there are. Just because people get older, that does not mean that wisdom just is bestowed upon them.
You got to see who they were back in high school or junior and college. You may be listening to somebody who used to pee on themselves on a regular basis.
You know what, sir? Okay, I didn't go there.
You gotta be cognizant of who you're listening to. You know what I'm saying? Like some people are resentful that they're old and that you're young and that you're having these experiences that they never got a chance to have.
So they're going to throw salt in your game.
They're going to try to lead you the wrong way and stuff like that. So you got to talk to older, sane people or people who've been through what you've been through at the level to where you can use discernment and be like, okay, I think this person or group of people know exactly what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm glad that tickled you.
I'm glad it tickled you.
Glad that tickled you.
Glad it tickled your fancy.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So where do we go from here? So first and foremost, we want you to continue to join us for our conversation. So we offer a large range of things. Like this is just one offering that we do on Sundays. So we have Conversating. We have smoke. I want to talk about what I do. I do queendom.
She never got my shit.
Smoke, drink, vibe.
Smoke, drink, vibe.
And I named it. So
that's the point. That's funny. You named it and then you forgot it. You like smoke, pee, drink, gummy bears.
Gummy bears. Smoke, drink, vibe, which is all men, talking about men's issues. And then we also do empower him plus establish her equals embrace us, which is couples therapy and relationship coaching. We do individual therapy and coaching. So continue to be in this space. We offer lots of free resources on each one of our, if you go to theobsidianluxgroup.com and click on either empower him or establish her, which is April Autumn Sparks, there are free ebooks out there about managing your emotions and feelings. So please, please, please go there, get the free resources. And that's how we can start to make these things, change some things between our relationships and end some of the divisiveness, because it all starts with you. Right? So next steps. So healing past wounds. We talked about therapeutic process. This is you going in. You got to heal some of those things within. That's really important, right? Also, we see this a lot, and you just mentioned it, babe. Like when they're in a relationship, I don't have to love me anymore because somebody else loves me. So I'm good. No. Continue self-love within your relationship. Like you loving on you being in a relationship with you is really important. A lot of people do look for the other person to quote unquote make them happy. That person cannot do that. What they can do is they can add to your happiness. Right? So learning conflict management.
Lord
Again, to manage conflict, because you will have conflict. Conflict will come.
Conflict will come in the best of relationships.
Right. So how are you managing it? I think a lot of times people feel, and this is why I'm encouraging you to go to our websites and download the ebook. I think a lot of times people feel like, well, you need to just deal with my emotions. Actually, that's not my partner's responsibility. It's not. I need to be able to soothe myself. I need to be able to go into myself and say, okay, what are you feeling? What is going on with you? Why are you activated like this? And then I can come out to him and say, you know what? I'm feeling X, Y, and Z without going, rah! And him going, girl, go away.
If I wanted to put a puzzle together, I would have bought one.
So, and that helps me to be transparent with you. When I'm not looking for you to figure it out. I'm looking for you to hear me when I'm saying, here are all my pieces that I'm struggling with. What do you think about that, baby?
That's something is different when you're able to have that kind of communication with your partner. When you're able to say, this is what's wrong, this is what's going on, this is what I'm dealing with. I may or may not need you to figure it out, but this is where I'm at. Right.
Go back to that one.
We got a little bit of time.
The comment.
Oh, the comment. What'd she say? What'd she say?
When conflict comes, I run. That's how I soothe myself in the situation. I understand not that to me says you're shutting down.
That's avoidance.
So here's the thing. Some people do need to walk away for a minute, but you can't just leave it. So you know what? I'm feeling away. Can you give me an hour? And I'm going to come back to this because I don't want to have this conversation, but I need to have this conversation.
I don't want to have this conversation with yelling and fighting and anything else that takes away from the message that we're trying to get and understand. So,
So then I go into myself to soothe and sit with myself, my emotions, all of those things to soothe myself and then come back out. Because you have to deal with that. McQueen. Ooh, that's a lot.
That is a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. We're going to continue with building real narratives.
Go ahead, hon. That's all you.
Building real narratives, not the fake narratives, the real issue, the real narrative of what's really going on and how things are going in the relationship, right? Encouraging open dialogue, open and honest dialogue, because you got to be honest when you're having the dialogue so you can understand what's trying to be conveyed and what's being conveyed, what's to be understood, what's trying to be said, the overall picture, and so forth. All right. Support groups and versus echo chambers. It's definitely better to have a support group, because a support group can check you when you are out of line or out of pocket. An echo chamber is just going to do exactly that. It's going to echo everything that you feel without checks and balances. So it's better to have a support group than an echo chamber, okay? You want to use your resources and find relationship therapists and coach like myself and April. Only myself and April. You don't need no other coach.
Wow.
No therapist.
I did not say that.
I'm saying it. You don't need it. Call us. Talk to us. Visit the website.
I didn't say that.
And then you want to create healthy boundaries, okay? All of these are important as far as the next steps for understanding on what to do and how to get the help to deal and maneuver through the attachment, or somebody said connection.
Connection.
Right?
Did you want to really deal with that real narrative and what it looks like versus like what we're asking for? I think when people really start loving on themselves, their list, because that's really about the list, remember?
Right. Yeah. So the real quickly, because we're running out of time, the real narrative versus the narrative that's being painted is, start with women. He got to be six foot 4. He got to be this. He got to have that. He got to have this. He got to have that. That's superficial. That's not real. That's not realistic. Okay. Because if you wanted those things and those things were actually prevalent for you, you would have those things. You are not aligned for what you are wanting. You're aligned perfectly for what you're receiving, good or bad. That's just facts. Okay. So if you're receiving bad, if you're doing bad in relationship area, in the dating area, it's something about you that is aligning yourself to be in tune or receive that kind of treatment or information, right? Because you're not giving real about yourself. You're not being real about yourself. You're not having the real narrative about yourself presented, and you're not getting the real narrative received. That's why you keep falling for the okie doke. Same for men. She got to have this shape. She got to look like this. She got to, have this kind of body and this and that, this kind of hair. That's not real. That's not realistic. And it's not the real narrative of who you are and what you actually need versus what you actually want. And so that's why. Or think you want. That's why you keep running into women with attitudes. You keep running into women who don't have personalities, because you eventually seek and want those things, but because you gave a fake narrative of what you wanted, you got exactly what you were aligned for, what you aligned yourself for. So the real narrative versus the fake narrative is something that is very prevalent and something that needs to be looked at when dealing with or trying to find a mate, and especially dealing with yourself first, because again, you can lie to yourself all day long, but you know the real with yourself. Okay. And so that's what that is. Walking away is a beautiful thing. I bet it is.
It can be.
It can be. How is with conflict avoidance dealt with?
Woo, we're going to have to come. 3 minutes ain't enough time. 1 minute.
3 minutes. Ain't enough time.
Conflict avoidance. Right. That person basically needs to deal with how they grew up, because that's what they did to survive in their family of origin. They avoided conflict. So they have to go in and heal those things. Right. That's the basic answer to that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's a solid answer. Solid question, but definitely solid answer.
Thank you, babe. So really quick, resources. Always take what you need, whether it's waking up early, focusing on your breathing, doing some gratitude journaling. These are things that you can do for you. right? To keep your mind, to keep you, loving on you, focusing on you. You should be focusing on you sometime during the day. I challenge people to give themselves 10 minutes to focus on them. And what they typically say, babe, is, I don't have time for that.
Yeah.
I'm like, how do you have 10 minutes for yourself in 24 hours?
Yeah.
10 minutes. That's all we're asking.
Yeah.
To focus on you. Because if you can't get you together, how can you get you and somebody else together?
Yeah.
That's all I got.
And nobody else is going to get you together but you. So anytime you're looking for somebody else to get you together, but you wanted to create time for yourself, then that's what it is. Like,
I know, right? Yikes. It's the truth.
Yeah, it's the truth.
I'm sorry.
These are the hard.
That was the quick and dirty answer.
Yeah, these are the hard conversations we have to have because it's going to get you the results that you need.
Right. Those are the things. Right. Those are the things. Right. And then do what you need. Prioritize sufficient quality sleep, adequate rest, emotional expression. Openly express and process emotions, whether through journaling, art, conversations with supportive friends, professionals. Establishing healthy boundaries and personal and professional relationships to protect mental and emotional space, and then engaging in activities that encourage self-reflection. See, people, self-reflection, introspection, and connection with a sense of purpose or spirituality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of y'all don't like yourselves.
We avoid ourselves. That's what I said. When people are like, I'm with me all the time. I don't need to spend more time with me. You did.
If you did, you would. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. You should. You should definitely spend more time with yourself because, again, you're the underlying factor in why you're having the issues that you're having. Okay. You're the underlying factor. So when you spend time with yourself, you learn yourself. But a lot of you have lied to yourself, and that's why you don't want to be by yourself, because you're going to have to deal with yourself.
You know what it is, babe? Y'all see these things? You probably can't. These are little poop emojis.
They're not ice cream emojis.
They're not ice cream. You got little poops on you from situations and circumstances that you've been dealing with in your life. And all you've done is gotten Febreze and just sprayed them, and like you're still walking around with the shit. You need to get rid of the shit. You need to get rid of the shit.
Yeah.
That's just really what it is. And all of those things with conflict avoidance, anxious attachment, the fearful attachment, they're all because of shit that you've been through.
Right.
But you don't have to continue to go through that shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Get it off. Take a shower. The way you take a shower, you take an emotional shower, you take a spiritual shower. You take a shower by going through the journey of finding who you really are and accepting who you really are. Right. Changing the things that you can change and accepting the things that you cannot change.
Yeah.
Until you deal with that, you're going to find and going to continue to be in the same situation. If you don't love you, stop expecting everybody else to love you.
Yeah.
If you don't know you, stop expecting everybody else to know you. If you don't want to deal with you, stop expecting everybody else to deal with you. And those are just the facts. Okay. Yeah. But some of you forgot how beautiful you are.
Most definitely.
Some of you forgot how handsome you are on the inside. Okay. Because your beauty is not just determined by your physical, but what you have on the inside. And a lot of y'all are beautiful, but you ugly as hell on the inside. That's why you keep attracting ugly people. That's why you keep attracting the stuff that you attract. And some of it is not your fault. Some of it is self-esteem. Some of it is confidence. Some of it is a lot of different things that, you just lost along the way because of all the shit you've been through.
But at the same time, it is your fault.
It is your fault.
Because you can do something about it.
You have to want to do something about it.
Yeah, you have a choice.
Yeah, you got to want to do something about it. You can
continue to walk around with Febreze spraying yourself, or you can have somebody help you navigate through those things.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Now, this is interesting because She says, I thought about journaling, but I don't write that much or maybe lazy, but I think I'm going to start doing it. Well, it just so happens my wife has a solution for those who don't like to write. Could you tell them that solution, Hannah?
So I use this app, and those of you who work with me know I love this app. It's called the Untold Voice Journal. We are not getting any money for this. We should.
We're not.
We should be getting paid.
Yeah.
But we are not.
We're not.
And it is a voice application. If you are an Apple girl or Apple dude, you can download this, and basically you journal by just talking.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'll just put on my earbuds and I'll just be like, hey, this is the way I'm feeling. This is what I'm going through. And I'm really upset because blah, blah, blah. And before I know it, I've talked for 10 minutes. Then with AI technology, it kind of puts all of these things together, and then it gives me a synopsis and helps me. It gives me questions to think about. It gives me certain circumstances that I could do to help me get through that situation.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No writing required.
Nope. So, yeah.
Said, your analogies are priceless.
You like the poop emojis?
Poop emojis.
I thought you might like that.
Did you guys have a good time?
I hope you did. This was a difficult conversation, but a very needed conversation.
Very needed.
Yeah.
Very needed, but that's okay because that's what we do. And this is what this group is about. And when we have these difficult conversations and these needed conversations, we hope that it gives you guys insight and perspective on how you can go about making the necessary changes in your life so you can get the results that you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's next?
Oh, you nasty. I don't even know what's next.
I don't either.
I don't know what's next.
It's a journey with you, so I'm down.
You're down like 4 flats on a Cadillac?
Pretty much.
Listen, we love you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. Please like, share, and subscribe.
Yes. Thank you all so much. If you have not shared it to one person, I'm challenging you. Please share our channel with one person. Please.
One person. Share it with one person. Share any one of our podcasts. Share any one of our shorts. More shorts coming soon.
Yes.
More guests coming soon. Surprise guests. How'd you guys like the last guest that we had? If you guys checked out, we interviewed the Hugheses from Dallas.
Yeah.
The Dallas Hugheses.
The Dallas Hugheses.
Yeah, we're the Houston Hugheses.
Yes.
So there's a difference. Difference.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So thank you guys so much for tuning in.
We actually have some things coming up the pike. So start following us on Instagram as well. We'll put that information, I know, babe. And if you are interested in couples therapy, we would love to hear from you.
We want couples who are needing of therapy.
Yeah.
But this therapy is going to be a little bit different.
Yeah.
A little bit different. We can't, unfortunately, go into how different it's going to be, but it's going to take some
boldness.
Yeah. Yes. Boldness. There ain't nothing freaky or nothing like that going on. Ain't nothing weird. But it's going to take some boldness, and it will shine a bigger spotlight, if you will, on the situation. So if you know anybody who needs therapy, couples therapy, if you know anybody who needs regular therapy or what have you, definitely visit us at the obsidianluxgroup.com. But couples therapy, definitely. We're looking for couples, about 10 couples.
At least 10.
At least 10 minimum. 12 is the goal, but 10 couples who want to do therapy for I think 2 month or 3 months time span.
At least.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll give you the deets along the way. It's going to be very interesting, and I think it's going to move not only this podcast and this channel to the next level, but it's going to do some amazing things at the end of the day. A man said, I do a lot of self-talk video-wise. I'm able to go back and reflect. It's like talking to myself in the mirror.
That's great. And I did too before I found this app. But you'll find this app is something different. Untold Voice Journal. Please check it out and keep checking for us. We love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Yeah.
We hope you have a fantastic week, and hopefully we'll see you next Sunday.
Y'all need to check out that Finding Queendom on Tuesday.
Yes.
Finding Queendom on Tuesday. It's a closed group, women's only. Okay.
Yep.
Don't even have to show your face
At all.
Okay. Very good stuff. Definitely tune in. I still don't know what's next.
Let's go find out.
Let's go find out.
All right. Have a great night.
You nasty.
We should have been gone by now. We're still sitting here trying to figure out what we're going to do.
We got to figure out something.
Beef bacon?
Beef bacon.
Beef bacon.
Is it beef bacon?
It's beef bacon.
Have you guys had beef bacon?
You know what, babe? Say goodbye.
Goodbye, babe.